Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the time it's people we follow, or at least at the start, it was all sort of people we followed and stuff we saw. So we like following the agencies, like you said, like the Buffs and the Vucos and the Bucks and everyone like that. And then we kind of, at the start, used to post a lot of their like amazing motion work. But then as we've sort of grown and as our awareness has spread, a lot of the time people send us stuff, which is really cool. So people will submit their work. Like we get sent stuff every day. And I'm glad like you picked up on it. But one of the things we try and do is to promote like just great work, no matter where it comes from. So it could be from a massive studio that everyone's heard of, or it could be just like a one person outfit, and they're just making some really cool motion work. So it's kind of like just showcasing the best work, regardless of even client, even size of studio. It's just about showcasing the amazing motion work. And there's so many cool people out there who are doing such cool work. It's just nice to sort of be able to kind of take that amazing work and show it to everyone. And like you say, it feels like there's it's a niche market, but I feel like it's pretty big and it's expanding every day. The fact that motion design within branding feels super important right now and is kind of exploding, which is really cool. So yeah, I think just bringing as much of that to people as possible, no matter where it comes from, is kind of what we're all about. So we would see stuff, message people, speak to them, like create relationships and stuff like that, and try and almost a follow up as well on some of the cool work we've seen, because we quite like to see stuff that's kind of not shown in like your classic Instagram posts or on the website. Because I think one of the interesting things about motion design is everyone's curious about how stuff is made, because everyone kind of does it slightly differently. So any kind of behind the scenes work or technical work that we can kind of showcase as well, I think is we always find interesting, and hopefully other people do as well. I think there was a point where we kind of, it almost like Brands in Motion kind of got more followers than the studios we were speaking to. I think as soon as that point passed, it became more beneficial for them to post on our platform than it did for us to get their work on our platform, if that makes sense. And we did definitely notice a sort of shift at one point when we kind of got above the sort of 30k, 40k mark. It kind of, more people would send us work. There's like more great work to choose from, so the content kind of fills itself. So Winston Duke, who we run it together, just does an amazing job of like curating, going through everything. And we kind of like have a rule of thumb, whereas if we both think it's cool or one of us thinks it's cool, then we trust our gut, we trust our instinct, then we'll post it on the page. And I'm a brand designer by trade, so I do motion as well, but my background's in brand design. So a lot of the time my kind of focus and interest and attention is on how good the brand looks, and then does the motion kind of fits the idea of the brand. Winston's a motion designer, so he's a senior motion designer at Wolf Hollins, and he comes from a motion design background, but he works within the branding space. So a lot of the time the stuff he finds really interesting is quite the more sort of groundbreaking motion side of things. So we've got that kind of good balance working where it kind of overlaps between the branding and the motion and kind of what we both find interesting. There's some common ground in the middle, but there's also a couple of examples where he'll find something interesting, post it, and I'll even be scrolling through my own Instagram and I'll kind of see it come up. I'm like, yeah, that's really cool. Oh, who's posted it? Oh, Brands in Motion. Oh, sweet. So it's kind of nice in that way for us as well. Yeah, so we used to work together at JKR back in London, and he was in the motion design department. I was in the design department, and it was during 2020, so it's during COVID, and I was kind of wanting to upskill in motion. I'd done some at uni, and I hadn't done it that much since, but I kind of wanted to do more. So I was like looking for, I was kind of always going over and bothering him in the studio, being like, oh, Winston, can you teach me how to do this? Winston, can you teach me how to do that? And I would be like, right, where can I get inspiration from to kind of showcase brands that move, because obviously all the work we were doing was branding. And at that time, there wasn't one sort of singular place that had that. So there was some like great animation, great character design, great sort of UX, UI interactions all in one place, but there wasn't a single place for motion in the branding space. So we kind of thought, I messaged him and just said, like, does anything like this exist? And then he was like, not that I'm aware of. We were like, should we start it? And then we just did. So yeah, it was kind of about seeing that gap in the industry, or in the kind of way to showcase parts of the industry, and seeing that gap and just sort of thinking, there is a need for this. We find it interesting. Maybe some other people will. And then, yeah, the followers really picked up, which was quite reassuring that kind of other people are in the same thought space. We always talk about brands in motion as a community, like you just said, and everything we do is to benefit that community, and kind of like you touched on, like trying to shed light on things we kind of wish we knew when we were starting out, like you say, plugins, processes, how to create show reels, all this kind of stuff, I think, which is super important now. Hopefully it's just the place to go for all that information alongside the inspiration as well. So you get inspired, but you also get informed, which is something we aim to do, really. Yeah, that's the fear we live with every day. It's what happens when Instagram breaks, gets cancelled, gets bought by Elon Musk. What's going to happen? Like, we don't know. So we've got the long-term goal when we're close to achieving, and we've been working on quite hard in the background, is a website for brands in motion, to kind of have the central platform to just exist online rather than be on a social platform. So that's the aim, is to kind of move that community and try and capture the same spirit as we've got on the Instagram, but kind of, house it in a website, which is the next step in our plan and our growth. And it's definitely something we're aware of for sure. It's been good. Yeah, it's been good so far. It was something I'd been thinking about for a little while. Something I kind of always wanted to do. I always quite like the idea of working for myself, having a bit more freedom over time, over projects, being able to kind of try and pick and choose projects that I want to work on. And so far, I've kind of been quite fortunate that that's happened. So I took 4 weeks off after finishing at Taxi, which was really nice, just to sort of refresh, chill out for a bit. I already had a plan. I kind of wanted a bit of a mental break to kind of relax. And then I did a 4-week freelance placement at Elmwood in the London office, which was really cool. Super nice team there. I'm really enjoying it. It's been, sort of only 3 months, I'd say, since I finished at Taxi, but it's flown by. It's absolutely flown by. But I'm enjoying the freedom and enjoying the being able to manage my own time, really. I kind of wanted to go freelance for a few reasons, and one of them was to kind of have more control and ownership of the direction of projects. So I think doing client work is something I would really like to enjoy. But having said that, there's like a hit list of agencies where I'd love to freelance as well, and that was kind of another determining factor. It was kind of there's some like amazing agencies out there, and to be able to even freelance with them for a week or 2 weeks would be such a massive learning experience. I would just kind of love to experience that as well. Like, I've been fortunate to work some really great and top studios, but I think I would like to keep diversifying, keep learning from people who know more than you, who are better than you, how they do it in certain studios compared to how they do it in others, and kind of just experience all those different cultures and different processes and ways of working and types of work, and just learn as much as possible, really. It's a very good question. I would spend my time reaching out to people, speaking to people, but reaching out to the right people. So speaking to brand managers, strategists, people who make the decisions on who's going to get the work. And then alongside that, if I had no portfolio, no work, no reel, no anything, I would spend time creating, it could be like fictional projects of the kind of work I wanted to do. So I'd fill a portfolio with work in the style for the kind of client that I wanted. So that way that when they approach me and ask for examples or ask if I got the experience or what I might do, then you can have a body of work that shows them that you're capable and that you know what you're doing. Because I think a lot of the time clients just want to be reassured that because they're investing money, they're sometimes investing a lot of money in the creative process in you. So any reassurance you can give them in terms of being able to deliver the work to a super high standard is super important. So examples of projects in the same sector for the same kind of clients, I think is always helpful. I think just creating the work that you want to do is the main thing. And then reaching out, networking, speaking to people, and the right people. So I think a couple of my direct client work projects has come because it's basically been brand strategists I've worked at previous agencies, and they kind of work directly again with clients, but your skill sets overlap and you both need each other's skill sets, but they can't do what you do and you can't do what they do. So when it comes to a strategist working with a brand and they need a brand designer, they can kind of say, oh yeah, I remember this person who worked with me way back when, and let's contact them. So it's about finding the right people to talk to in the client, in the business, and in the area you want to be working in, but also having connections, networking with people who have translatable, tangible skills, but not the same as what you do. Because that's kind of how the whole referral thing works, really. They get you in because they can't do what you do, and vice versa. So, yeah. That's the hardest sell, is someone who doesn't know what they need, who doesn't know they have a problem. And I think you've got to, I guess, first and foremost, they've got to be aware that there's something they're trying to solve and that you have the capabilities to do it. And they might not understand exactly what the issue to solve is, but they would know there's an issue. So I think as long as that client is aware that their brand isn't performing in a way it should do, then that's an easier sell than someone who's quite happy with their brand and doesn't think anything's wrong with it. And I think making it tangible business reasons to do it, I think to just redesign a brand to make it look better is a very hard sell. So if you can say, like you said, we'll make you stand out from competitors, we'll improve your market share, and you'll make more money due to this rebrand, that's a tangible outcome for them to have. That's a business outcome. So I think selling it to them in a way where the outcome is good for them, good for business, in whatever way that is, doesn't always have to be financially, then that'll help them understand rather than just thinking, your brand's rubbish, I want to change it. Well, I think you just sell it to them about consistency and scale. And it's still the same outcomes of performing better, better brand awareness, but it will help them scale up. Like, they might be doing absolutely fine, but I think businesses always need to grow to be successful, and brands always need to grow to be successful. And as they become more successful and get bigger, then new problems will arise. Like if you move into other markets and open up other offices, open up other locations, then consistency becomes an issue. So selling a consistent brand where people can kind of see it, become aware of it, know it, and then selling it consistently across different marketplaces is crucial. So I think people always want more, even if you're succeeding, you can be more successful, you get to the next level. And like, I think, the growing businesses are always ones that are always striving to be bigger and be better and be more. And those are the kind of brands you, in an ideal world, want to work with, because they know even though they're doing well now, you got to keep going up, because otherwise it kind of plateaus. So that's the way to kind of keep them on board. And with brand growing, business grows as well.